come up against an obstacle. They go, what is this? I wanted that, but this obstacle's in my way. I got this thing here. The first pattern that people run, the first mistake that people make when they come up against an obstacle, is instead of going around it, under it, through it, over it, they pick it up. And they carry it with them through their life. And they say, I could have been successful. I've got this obstacle. I could have had a meaningful relationship in my life, but my dad never hugged me. Look, my dad didn't love me. I could have been a contender, but I've got this knee injury. Woe is me. Could have exercised, but I've got this heart condition, and the doctor put me on medication. Look at my obstacle. And everywhere they go, no matter what they do, everywhere they go, where's the obstacle? It's right there in front of them. They pick it up, they carry it with them. They get a sense of significance from it. Look at the reason I can't be who I want, have what I want, or do what I want. Pick it up. That's the first pattern. The second pattern people run is the perfect place syndrome. Perfect place syndrome. This is where people, they get to the point where they say, I'm sick of what's in here, I want what's out there, I'm going to go for it. They start taking action and they go, oh, there's this obstacle here. You see, I told you, it just wasn't meant to be. You don't understand, this isn't the right time for me. Just, maybe when I retire, when I'm 65, maybe then I can go out and travel the world. I'll wait until I'm 60, because look, I've got this job. I've got this spouse that won't let me do what I want to do. I've got this obstacle right now. The economy just isn't right for me to make that kind of investment right now. Not the right time. Not the right place. The funny thing is, a lot of times what people do with this, especially the very spiritual people, they go, you know what? I don't think the universe wants me to do this right now. The universe is sending me a signal. God is telling me this isn't the right thing. I'm just going to go meditate on it for a little while. Ask the universe, or I'm going to pray to God and ask, when is the right time for me? Okay, I've meditated. I'm going to see. Is it the right time now? Oh, no, the obstacle's still there. I guess it's not the right place for me. That's called the perfect place syndrome. And what happens is people wait for the circumstances to line up in their life to let them do what they want. And here's the secret. The circumstances will never line up. The circumstances will never line up unless it's by accident. Because here's the thing, the universe responds to action. People say this to me all the time. They say, well, when the time is right, or when the economy is right, or when my spouse lets me, or whatever the excuse is, that's when I'll come back and do this. Most of those people I never see again. I get somebody who say, well, I can't take 7 days off of work right now. I'll wait until I have more vacation. But then when they get to vacation, there's some other excuse. Whatever it is. All of these excuses come up, and the fact is, the excuse isn't the problem, it's the thinking. The obstacle isn't the problem. It's the thinking that says, here's the problem. It's the thinking that says I have to have permission, or I have to cut my teeth, I have to earn before I'm allowed to have. My grandparents, who always wanted to drive around the country in an RV. As soon as Grandpa retires, and it never happened. It never happened. If you think that when you retire is when you can have the career that you want, it doesn't happen. If you think you're going to wait for the economy to bounce back before you start your own business, you might be waiting a long time. They're saying 15 years maybe. If you're waiting for permission, that obstacle is always going to be there. And so the fact is, the time, the perfect place and the perfect time is right now and right here, whenever you decide it. The moment that you decide you want something is the right time for it. And anything less than action is telling the universe that you don't want it or deserve it. The moment you desire something is the right place and the right time. Anything less than action is telling the universe that you don't want it or deserve it. The universe responds to action. And so people will say to me, I'm waiting for the circumstances to line up. I'm waiting for this big thing to land in my lap, or this thing to happen or that thing to happen. It doesn't happen. What happens is when you make a commitment to something, the universe will conspire to make you successful. When you make a commitment, things begin falling in line, and the pathway to that success becomes apparent, but not until you commit. Third pattern that people run. The third pattern that people run looks like this. They say, I want what's in here. I hate what's in here. I want what's out there. I want to go for it. And they go like this. They go, I'm just going to dip my toe a little bit. I'm just going to, ow. There's an obstacle there. That hurt. We call this the dabbler technique, right? The person who doesn't fully commit, they just dabble in things. Oh, I tried that, but it was kind of hard, so I just decided not to do it. These are the people who will, go out and get their real estate license, but then they never actually go out and sell a house. Or the people who will dabble in internet trading, but then they lose a little money and they go, oh, not for me. That's an obstacle right there. And they dip their toe in and it's like, oh, that was painful. Ow. I don't want to do that. And the fact is, the reason they didn't succeed is because they didn't fully put their energy into it. If you dabble in anything, do you have any chance of success? No. Of course not. And because they didn't fully put their energy into it, because they didn't fully focus beyond the obstacle, onto the outcome, knowing what they want, taking the steps, because they just dabbled in it, of course you're going to run into an obstacle if you're only putting that much energy into something. If you know where the outcome is, you know where the end is, and you're focused here and you're just touching it, it's never going to happen. And here's the fourth pattern that people run. The fourth pattern that people run is this. They say, I hate what's in here, I want what's out there. I'm going to go for a new relationship, right? I get into a new relationship and I go, oh, here's this problem, man. We argue all the time. We got this obstacle in the relationship. You know what? I'm sick of the arguing. I'm sick of it. I'm done. I'm breaking up with you. I'm going to go find another relationship. And so they go find another relationship and they go, hey, here's another relationship. And there's that obstacle again. Or they get sick of their job. I'm sick of you mistreating me. I'm sick of you underpaying me. I'm going to go find a new job. I'm out of here. So they go hunting for a new job and they go, oh, here's a new job. There's that obstacle again. And no matter who they date, no matter which job they get, the same thing comes up over and over. I'm not saying this has ever happened to you guys. I know it happened to me once. No matter how many times they try to change the external circumstances in their life, the same obstacle comes up over and over again because all they're doing is spinning their wheels and they're just waiting. This didn't seem to work out for me, so I'm going to give up on that one. I'm going to try a different one. No matter how many times that same obstacle is there. Because instead of trying to change what's in here, they're trying to change what's out there. Milton H. Erickson, one of the best hypnotherapists ever. Great quote from him from the middle 1950s. He said, at one point I realized that all of my clients' problems were metaphors. So he decided, why couldn't the answer be metaphors? The fact is, if you have an obstacle in life, you may be able to touch it, feel it, smell it, taste it, lift it. You may be able to point it out to me and say, look, this is a real obstacle. And the fact is, it isn't. The physical thing outside of yourself is a result of the thinking. It's a result of the limited thinking. Yes, you can say, I have $0 on my bank account. That looks like a real obstacle. But what is the thinking that didn't fill your bank account? Yes, you may say, look, I have this trail of bad relationships in my life. But what is the thinking that created those relationships in the first place? The thing outside of yourself is just evidence of the internal thinking that created it. So when you come up against an obstacle in life, instead of struggling and rallying against the outside thing, ask yourself, how am I at cause for this? How am I at cause for this thing which is standing in my way right now? And when you get the answer to that, you'll grow bigger than the obstacle, and it'll disappear.